You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. The following podcast contains spoilers and rude words. We watch the thing. We watch the thing. Hello everybody and welcome back to We Watched a Thing with Billy and Dave, where we do the things you don't want to, like watch Trap.
Yes, indeedy. We took a bullet for you people this week, I tell you.
Well, let's get into it. No dilly-dally this week. Trap is a 2024 American psychological thriller film written, directed, and produced by M Night Shyamalan. It stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Salika Night Shyamalan, Hayley Mills, and Alison Pill. And what is it about, Dave?
I'll go by IMDb, which apparently thinks there's some secret in this film, which just says, a father and his teen daughter attend a pop concert only to realise they've entered the centre of a dark and sinister event. Okay. Why they're omitting the thing that's even in the trailer where, Josh Hartnett is the serial killer is fucking beyond me.
Also, that's just a terrible description. The event itself isn't dark or sinister. It's a regular old concert.
No. It makes it sound like they're there and a killer's going through killing people, which is not the case at all.
Well, let's get straight into it. I don't know about you, but I was actually quite excited for this film. I was really looking forward to it. I'm a Shyamalan apologist. I've enjoyed most of his films.
It's one of your deepest and darkest flaws.
Even his most recent stuff that a lot of other people didn't like, Old and whatnot, I actually quite enjoyed. From memory, you were not that low on Knock at the Cabin. You enjoyed that one from memory?
It was mediocre at best.
So
within his filmography, it's in the top half.
Yeah,
but I didn't think it was a good film. No.
So what were your expectations going into Trap? Were you looking forward to this like I was?
I had forgotten initially that it was a Shyamalan film, and from the first trailer, which I think is the only trailer I saw for it, I thought it was quite interesting. I like Hartnett. It was good to see him back. Yep. The premise sounded quite good. Then you reminded me who it was, and I thought, oh, okay, well, the trailer's good, but it's going to suck. And I was right. It did suck.
I'm not as low on it as you from the sounds of it then. Maybe this is just my Shyamalan apologism, but the first half of the film, I actually really enjoyed. I thought tonally it was pretty solid. I thought it was a really interesting blend of kind of, because Josh Hartnett is likable. So for the first half of the film, that's kind of what you're going off. This almost feels like season 2 of Dexter, where Dexter is so close to being caught and there's a part of you that doesn't want him to be. That's kind of what I thought this film was doing well.
I do think, yes, absolutely. The first half is better than the second. It gets progressively worse and worse.
Absolutely, it does.
And Hartnett as well, who I think for the first half of the film is doing about as well as anyone can with the god-awful dialogue and writing that he's been given. The further it goes and the more he, as his daughter says about 1,000 times, gets weird.
Yes, she does. There's a lot of, Dad, you're acting weird.
And I think I could paraphrase that, Dad, you're acting badly, because when he is attempting to be normal, he gets, I think, hammier and hammier and hammier to the point where it's almost a parody.
But you know what? That actually worked for me because, I mean, to be a serial killer like this, you're not a normal person. So much of what you're doing is acting normal.
The whole point is, as the massively underused Hayley Mills, they could have got anyone for that role. Why they had to get a good actor for someone who's barely in it. But as she repeatedly says, he could be anyone. He blends in perfectly, yes.
But I think
there is no fucking way Hartnett, 2/3 of the way through this film, is blending in anywhere. Anyone talking to him would be going, dude, you're a fucking serial killer.
No, you know what? That worked for me. That really did actually work for me. I thought that the one thing that really worked about this film was Hartnett and his performance, because, like they say, blend in is not the same as being a normal person. His whole life is acting, and so the more stressed out he gets in this situation, I think that's starting to fall apart. So I was actually quite on board. I thought he's
still the best thing about this film.
There's a couple of bad things about this film. I think the worst thing about the first half is that the film was so obviously written just as a vehicle for Shyamalan's daughter to
I've got a
sing.
whole tirade about why this film even exists that I was going to save till the end.
Well, let's get there. Let's get there now. Shyamalan's daughter clearly wants to be a singer.
Well, she is. That's
okay.
her job.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, I'll tell you what she can't
not good, obviously.
I'll tell you what she can't do is act. She is just the worst thing about this film, and
yeah, she's terrible.
And there are this is a relatively short film. There are stretches in this film that are just her singing, and it doesn't land.
It's far more tedious than it should be for its runtime.
Yeah, 100%. That to me, that was the worst thing about the first hour of this film. It devolves into a complete shit show, and we'll get there. But yeah, so you weren't enjoying this film even from the start.
With one or two obvious exceptions, this might be the worst Shyamalan film. I think this film is fucking atrocious.
Not a chance.
And I was laughing out loud numerous times, particularly in the second half. But the thing that irks me the most, and it's weird because it's the thing that makes me like Shyamalan more than I do previously. Yeah. But it's the thing that makes me hate this film even more than the film deserves. Is it only exists to boost his daughter's career? He has said in press events, I created this film as a way to give her a stadium show.
Yeah.
So he is basically, Megabucks daddy paying a bunch of friends and hiring out a place so that his daughter can get a big show that her talent will never get her in the scale of things.
No, I mean, look, if that's what he wanted to do, he could have done this a different way. I mean, we just had the fucking Taylor Swift Eras tour. He could have just made a concert movie if that was the entire goal.
No
one would have
He also
watched
thinks
it.
he's Hitchcock, so he thinks he's making a masterpiece. But he has... I would have suspected this anyway, but he has overtly said the only reason this film exists is because I wanted to give my daughter somewhere to do a stadium concert.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but the only reason that Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back exists was to get Jason Mewes off drugs. There's lots of...
Oh, no, I think you as a Kevin Smith, Kevin
Smith himself has said that. He said that himself, that he wrote that and he made that as a way to inspire Jason Mewes to get off drugs. He said, if you get clean, we'll do this movie. There's nothing wrong with that.
Even if that's true, that's a far more laudable thing than a guy with deep pockets buying his daughter a career, which is essentially what he's doing.
Yeah, but again, he's got enough money that she could just be Rebecca Black. He could just be funding her music career. At least he's done something here. And like I said, I think that the movie falls apart in the back half, but I actually really enjoyed the front half. And I was surprised at how much.
I know there's a ham-fisted and should have come an hour earlier in the film, but they try to give you a reason why the police think he's going to be at this thing. Did you not spend the entire film going... This makes no fucking sense.
Oh, 100%.
How would they have any idea
who he is? Yeah, I'm like, look, even if it's his phone, just fucking ditch your phone in a bin, and then what happens? They're questioning people leaving. So what?
There is no concern given whatsoever to the actual rights that police have.
No, I mean the only later on when he's stolen the police walkie-talkie, he's listening in, and he finds out what information they have exactly. And he goes to cover up his tattoo because they know that the killer has a tattoo on his right wrist so at least then I kind of was like, okay, all right, that kind of covers off how they would possibly know it was this guy. But I mean, yeah, it's a very, very loose premise. To buy into this film, you have to buy into Josh Hartnett and his performance. And I did, for me. I thought that he was charming enough. I thought that there was enough humor injected in there. It's not a thriller by any stretch. Nothing in the film is really thrilling. There's a couple of cool moments when Fry Girl gets her face exploded. That's kind of fun.
She deserved everything she got if you see a fryer that is bubbling over like that,
and
with
you stand
oil,
there looking at it,
and
getting
you
closer,
and you can see 3 or 4 glass bottles of oil in the boiling oil.
Yeah.
You don't stand there with your face over it for a good 30 seconds waiting for it to explode. Fucking, you deserve to be disfigured. You're an idiot.
So I thought that, I thought the movie progressed in an interesting way. I wish that it never left the concert. The turning point for me is the scene where, they're backstage with the whatever. I don't even remember her name. Raven? Was it Raven something?
Lady Raven, thank you.
Lady Raven, yes, thank you, yes. When they're backstage with her and he takes her aside and he says, I'm the killer, you're going to get us. That was the scene where I was like, no, everything from here on out is just... It's crap. When that scene started, I thought it was going to be...
we have to position your daughter as Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But now your daughter is also a superhero who's going to stop a serial... I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But even just that entire part of the premise, that was the point where I was like, he wouldn't do this. I don't buy that this character would do this. Everything up to that point, I bought. And that was the point where I completely stopped buying it.
What's the plan? He has... From that point on, he can't let her live.
Yes.
Because she knows who he is.
Exactly.
But yet he's having her take them in her car, and initially he wants her to just let them off.
Yeah.
Where she can, will just go off and immediately tell the police who the killer is.
Exactly. Because even before they have...
them to take her to his house.
Yeah, that was the point for me where I was like, why as well? Because... even if this guy has maybe given a fake name, his daughter's name, you can absolutely describe them.
Oh,
I'm sure that there is footage of these people on stage. Like, she would easily be able to identify this guy to the police. Like, all she has to do is drop them back to their car, call the policewoman and say, yo, this is our guy. Like, he's very clearly a family guy. Are they worried he's going to leave the country? Like...
Yeah, and they've been on stage at the world's biggest concert. He's on film.
Yes.
Or at the very least, Riley is on film.
Yes,
exactly. And they can obviously get him from that.
Yeah.
But so what his plan is when he wants her to drop them off, it makes no sense. Once she, for whatever reason, gets herself invited back to the serial killer's house.
Yes.
Why she wouldn't drop them off, jump on the phone to the police and go, that's the guy.
Exactly.
Go to his house.
Yeah.
But she gets invited there, and then... we find out later that Alison Pill knows or suspects that her husband is the killer, and her grand plan.
She's the one who left the ticket at a crime scene so that the police would know he was at this concert.
Yeah. Her grand plan was all of that bullshit, rather than just call the cops and go reckon I'm married to the serial killer.
Yeah,
none of it, just such bullshit. But she sits there through this whole thing. This weird tea party that they all have, showing no indication of that at all. Yeah. And then possibly the most ridiculous bit, where Raven hides Riley's phone, grabs his phone out of his hands, and then runs and locks herself in the bathroom, carrying his phone.
And is in there for like a full... 2-3 minutes Instagramming her fans and stuff. He would be able to knock that door down. He would be able to knock it down.
I get he's wanting to maintain his pretense to the family.
But he's not at that point. He locks them in the bedroom and shit. He's gone full mental.
He's manic as anything. But she manages to jump on Instagram or TikTok or whatever the fuck it is, put one post up saying, anyone in Philadelphia... can you identify a house that's near a broken statue of a lion that has a blue door? 3 seconds later, one of her army of Swifties has fucking not identified this thing.
Yeah.
And then rather than get them to call the cops, she sends them
to the house.
Grab your entire family and go to the serial killer's house to release them. And apparently they do.
Yeah.
And they get some guy out of handcuffs. But who knows? In the space of... at most 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he gets the phone, he checks it. This guy's gone.
Yeah.
It's... by this stage, I was literally laughing out loud.
Yes, by that stage, I was completely out of the movie. Like that, everything that happens after he tells her he's the killer is just plain old bad. It's just plain bad from that point out, which is very disappointing.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you did enjoy about the film then?
For about the first third to half, even bad story and everything aside, it was a quite nice father-daughter story going on, even though you know he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
And the fact that most of what he's doing to try and escape. But she didn't know that, and that was a bit nice, I guess.
I mean, again, that's one of the things. I really enjoyed the first hour of this movie. I thought tonally it was great. I thought it had a really nice injection of humor. I thought it was interesting enough. Like, look, this isn't a fully original. We've seen serial killer stories like this before. I mean, I brought up Dexter earlier. I think this is very similar to that in many ways.
Just nowhere near as good.
No. Maybe as good as season 8.
I haven't seen the last season.
Yeah. But yeah, I was really enjoying it. I thought that the relationship he had with his daughter was fun. You know, like even when he runs into the bitchy girl's mother and
wow, talk about overacting.
Oh yeah.
That's psycho bitch. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean a lot of the acting is not.
We know he can't write dialogue, but that first conversation with her where she just flips on a dime and goes, "Don't mess with me. You don't know what I'm." I'm just like, what the?
I know.
Who wrote this shit?
Yeah.
Fuck me, it's terrible.
Yeah,
wow.
It is very bad.
Oh, tell you what, you said there was this stuff I like. I liked the moment where Riley gets to dance on stage with fucking Lady Raven. No. And you flash to bitch and her daughter in the crowd, recognizing her.
She's like
and then
yelling
having
at
a
her
massive
mother.
falling out. She's yelling at her mum, and her mum goes, "You're a little fucking monster."
Yeah.
That was funny. I laughed at that.
That was funny.
That was, I think, meant to be funny.
Yeah, I mean, you know what else I actually thought was funny? And this is a thing that people really slagged off in the trailers, and I thought these people just aren't getting the tone of this movie. The guy who works at the concert, who is just revealing everything to Josh Hartnett.
Oh, by the way, what's the secret password? That's not a fucking alarm bell.
Yes. and in the, when that scene was in the trailer of him, telling him what was going on, people on the internet were slagging this film off like that's just ridiculous. That I don't think that was meant to be taken seriously. That was meant to be funny. And then you get the post-credit scene of him watching the news and the killer being revealed.
Unnecessary. I can't believe I stayed for that.
That was great. I was fully on board. I thought that whole segment was really, actually pretty funny. Speaking of bad actors, we get Shyamalan, of course, pop up in his, because as you said, he thinks he's Hitchcock. Yep. In what I think this is his worst role yet in any of his films.
What was he? Because it's blurring together for me because I started watching Unbreakable again in preparation for our bonus series.
Yes,
and he's literally at a concert in that one. What was he in this one?
You don't remember? He was her manager.
Oh God, that's right.
He was her manager, her uncle. Yes, her uncle, who is her manager. That Josh Hartnett tells that Riley has cancer, so that they get chosen to go up on stage. Yeah, he was bad.
Oh, that doesn't compare with his cameo in Old as the driver. No.
Oh, my memory of Old.
He's done worse work.
My memory of Old is that it wasn't even a cameo. Doesn't he become quite a key part of Old?
He's a character. He's a character for that first part of the film. Yeah.
I mean, as you alluded to, we are, of course, on our Patreon going through the entire Shyamalan filmography. So we are up to Unbreakable next. So, but honestly, I didn't hate this movie. Even when it falls apart, I had enough fun with this movie that I left the cinema being like, you know what? That was a fine way to spend an afternoon.
Damn.
Okay, so you're complete. How are you scoring this then?
This is a 2 out of 10, and that is because I know I need to have room to wiggle below it. But
this is not the worst film of the year.
2 out of 10, and because we should incorporate this into our rankings that we're doing in the bonus show. This is obviously at this point in time the worst Shyamalan film.
Not a chance.
Well, we've only done Sixth Sense. Are you saying Sixth Sense is worse than this?
Okay, look, of the ones that we've done so far on the bonus show, this is the worst. This honestly, I had infinite more amounts of fun watching this than I did with Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine didn't laugh once, didn't have a single bit of fun. This movie was fun.
Something wrong
this
with
movie
you.
was just stupid fun.
But it's not meant to be stupid fun.
I think it is. I think it is.
This is so bad it's funny. No. He will come out saying this is a dark comedy because that's his thing. He releases these things that he thinks are serious Hitchcockian masterpieces. They get slagged off for terrible writing, and then after a few months, he comes out. Well, no, it's meant to be a dark comedy. Mate, you just missed the point. That's his modus operandi. He will do it again. It's not meant to be funny. He thinks it's a serious, brilliant thriller, even though it was only created to give his daughter's career a boost.
No, 6 out of 10.
Fucking hell!
Yeah.
Oh no, Jesus Christ.
This movie's plenty of fun. It's a barrel of laughs.
Oh God, don't listen to Billy, people. Don't waste your money on this movie. This movie is fucking abysmal.
Well, I reckon next week's going to be abysmal because next week we're getting to Borderlands. What? Are you excited for Borderlands?
I am. That was in my most anticipated of the year list.
Oh,
even though it's Eli Roth, who I don't like.
I've heard nothing but bad things, and the only trailer I've seen, it looks like
who from? No media in Australia have been given it, as far as I'm aware. They've just done a premiere in the States, but I'm expecting it to be a lot of fun. And then I think we get. Not in time for next week's episode, but just after it. What have we got? We got something good happening. Alien Romulus. Isn't that on the 14th?
It's very soon. I'm very keen for Alien Romulus.
Yeah. So we got a couple of two good films in a row to take the sting out of this horrible piece of shit.
Yeah,
and I'm actually looking forward to. Have you seen anything about Blink Twice?
Yeah. Blink Twice.
That's looking good.
Yeah.
Good cast. And Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, I'm
directing.
keen for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
that's one other thing that fucking annoying me about this nepotistic fucking family. Have you noticed that they're both adopting the Knight middle name now, just to make it clear if anyone didn't know that Daddy's famous and you should give us a go at stuff?
You don't reckon that that's her genuine middle name?
No, that's not his name. His name is Manoj Neliatu. He adopted the Knight thing when he wanted people to be able to pronounce him in college. So it's not even. It's a affectation. It's not his name. I don't even think it's legally his name.
Gotcha.
But obviously, I mean, Shyamalan, could be a coincidence. But if you call yourself Night Shyamalan, that's going to open some doors. And they're both fucking doing it now. I mean, the older one, the Salika or whatever that's in this, the older daughter, she was. Musically, she's mononymous like Madonna. She's just Salika.
Yeah.
But previously, she was always Salika Shyamalan.
Isn't Salika a model of Toyota?
This is spelled differently.
Okay.
But in this film, she's Salika Night Shyamalan suddenly.
Yeah.
And obviously, younger daughter's always been that because she's in movies and you really want to make it apparent, even though he's producing and turning up on set and everything. Fucking hell, I don't like this entire family. They all annoy me.
Mate, such a negative Nancy you are. Well, that's it from us. Next week, we're getting to Borderlands. If you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com, or you can find us on the Pottymouth Facebook listener community. Go check out the Patreon and check out all of our other shows that we're doing at the moment, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya for good stuff.